with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from a church on a breeze. To laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way. To sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more.
With all the beautiful, interesting cities in Europe to see, it is very difficult to pick a favorite. But if I did, it would be Salzburg. One reason is because it is the setting of my favorite movie, The Sound of Music. However, there are other reasons, such as the fountains, the gardens, the fortress, the palaces, the salt mine tours, and probably most of all, the surrounding countryside. The horse pond was built in 1693, making it 331 years old. Salzburg was founded in 696, or 1,328 years ago. It has a population of about 157,000 and is the fourth largest city in Austria. Mirabell Palace and Gardens, the Baroque jewel of Salzburg, is one of the city's top 3 sites. It was built in the late 16th century. It was built by the Archbishop of Salzburg, Wolf Dietrich, as a home for his mistress and 15 children. When it was built, it was just outside the walls of Salzburg as a country estate. On our visit to Salzburg in 2020, we attended a very enjoyable dinner and Sound of Music show. This year, we elected to go to a Mozart concert at the Mirabell Concert Hall. Incidentally, the background music is a Mozart sonata for violin. Residensplatz Square, one of Salzburg's most popular places to visit, was laid out in 1587. The fountain in the middle, Residenzbrunnen or Residence Fountain, also called Horse Fountain, was built between the years 1656 to 1661. These tombstones in the cemetery at the nunnery was the place that the Von Trapp family hid when they were trying to escape from the Nazis in the movie The Sound of Music. Salzburg is well known for several things, such as the birthplace of Mozart, the Salzburg Music Festival, Hohenzollern Fortress, Mirabell Palace, the home of the Trapp family in The Sound of Music, beautiful mountains, and, perhaps most of all, the salt mines. Translated to English, Salzburg becomes Saltburg. The origin of the Salzburg salt mines go back 2,600 years. It was revived in the 12th century when the archbishops of Salzburg rediscovered the mines as a source of great wealth. The Hellenian salt mine is considered the oldest salt mine in the world. From 1943 to 1945, the salt mine served as a huge repository for the Nazi stolen art. The constant temperatures of 46 degrees with 75% humidity were near perfect conditions to preserve the paintings, which were valued at over $3.5 billion. The salt mine tours are very popular. I first went on this tour in 1967 with two friends, Charles Brisky and Jerome Kahn. I went again with Ruth in 2000. It is a great tour. You ride in these little trains, slide down a banister, take a raft across a small body of water, and learn a lot about the salt mines. The Michael Feingold Bridge, which crosses the Salzach River, has a century-old tradition of lovers inscribing a lock with their initials and locking it to the bridge to symbolize their unbreakable and eternal love. While staying in Salzburg, we stayed at a hostel called the Stadheim Naturfinderhaus, which means Nature's Friend's House. It is on Moschensberg Mountain, attached to the Burgerwehr Fortress. It was an inexpensive place to stay with great views of the city, but we had to walk up 363 steps to get there. The Burgenwehr Fortress was built in the 15th century. One more reason Salzburg is my favorite city is because of the many fond memories I have there. I was stationed in Augsburg, which is only 140 miles to Salzburg, and was able to go there on 3 different occasions while in the Army in 67 and 68. Ruth and I also enjoyed the city in 2000. Views of Salzburg from the Hohenzollern Fortress. Leopoldskam Castle was built in 1731 by Archbishop Leopold. Over the years, it has had several owners, including the King of Bavaria. Since 1958, it has been owned by the Salzburg Seminar for American Studies. It was used as the back of the house of the Trapp family in The Sound of Music, and the Venetian room was copied and used for the ballroom in a studio. Pictures from inside the fortress. From the 8th century onwards, Salzburg became more and more powerful. The Pope made Salzburg into an Archbishopric. This means Salzburg will become an archdiocese, an area looked after by an archbishop. This is why there have always been archbishops in Salzburg. The Salzburg Bull. It was early in the morning, sometime around the year 1515. A sharp triad in F major woke the inhabitants of Salzburg from their slumber. The bull-like roar came from the over 100 pipes of a hornwerk installed in the castle by Archbishop Leonhard von Keustock. This simple type of organ once stood on many towers across Germany, where they were often used for signaling like bells. From then on, the hornwork woke the people at 4 a.m. every morning for work and announced bedtime at 7 p.m. How would you like to wake up to that every morning at 4 o'clock? We are on our way on a day trip to Obersalzberg and the Eagles Nest, and then on to the village of Berchtesgaden. Obersalzberg is a mountainside retreat situated above Berchtesgaden, located in Bavaria, about 75 miles southeast of Munich. It is best known as the site of Hitler's mountainside residence, known as the Eagles Nest. All of the Nazi-era buildings except the Kehlsteinhaus, or Eagles Nest, which is now a restaurant, were demolished in the 1950s. We've arrived at the Eagle's Nest. To get there, you have to walk through a tunnel and then take an elevator to the top. As you can see, it was foggy at the top. August 18th, 1933, Hitler's meeting with Minister of Aviation Hermann Goering. From 1933 on, Obersalzberg was a place where the leading Nazi figures discussed and made decisions on numerous political subjects. High-level diplomacy In the Kindelstein house, Hitler received guests of state and influential representatives of the media. The visit to the closely guarded mountain peak was intended to provide an informal, confidential atmosphere for high-level talks. Privacy for the elite on the mountaintop. Eva Braun and high-ranking Nazi leaders used the house for private purposes. The photographer Heinrich Hoffmann documented their stays. Although not intended for publication, they were carefully arranged compositions. Hitler himself, on the other hand, rarely visited the house. 14 visits are verifiable. The visits to the Eagles Nest illustrate a typical Nazi dichotomy. While Hitler at the Berghof and his entourage at Eagles Nest were enjoying the beauty of nature, crimes were being committed elsewhere, crimes planned and decided on in this peaceful idyll. Eagles Nest, an iconic symbol. For the Americans, Salzburg and the Eagles Nest were the most important prize. Even today, the 101st Airborne Division, the 2nd French Armored Division, and the 3rd U.S. Infantry Division each claimed to have reached the mountain first. The U.S. Army took over control of the Eagles area after its peaceful surrender by District Administrator Carl Theodor Jacob on May 4, 1945. Thereafter, the Eagles Nest became a popular day out for American soldiers. Most of the time that we were at the top, the surrounding countryside was clouded in or fogged in, and we couldn't see much. But there were moments when the fog and the clouds lifted and we had small windows of good views. Leaving the Eagles Nest and then arriving in Berchtesgaden. These postcards show the beauty of Berchtesgaden on a clear day. We could not see the mountaintop on the day we were there, but have been there on clear days in the past. Berchtesgaden is a small city or large town of under 8,000 people. It is most known as a ski resort.